We are still in the midst of DZBT04, trying to clear as much as possible while I still have the time. And we actually managed to get a very rare guest on the channel. Or actually, I think this is his first time. Today we have the one and the only mcrafter3000. Thank you so much for coming down today.
Hello.
So today we are here to do Bruce in DivineZ. This is Viamance Bruce to be more specific. And wow, this deck, I mean, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, this deck is really terrifying. But for some reason, no one wants to talk about it. So yeah, I don't really know why, but okay, so let's talk about it. So Bruce actually got support this set, right? He got one triple rare in the form of Ellie.
Yes.
And then he also gets a tolerant promo in the form of
All-in.
And both of them form a really tight consistency loop that gets you a lot of advantage quick in the early game and uses energy to an advantage that I don't even think was possible. And you played this, right? You played this against DifferentFight.
Yes, you can watch it in the video description.
Okay, so
yes.
Okay, so it looks like I have to link DifferentFight. That's amazing. But it's so rare for me to be able to get my hands on a Vanguard celebrity to do a deck profile. Like,
Nobody freaking knows. What are you talking about? Nobody knows me.
that's not true. I'm sure you have fans on Twitter. So yeah, let's cover this. It's really good. There's multiple attack patterns, but in this video we won't really go through like every pattern. I think Twitter has you covered. They have combos for every version of Bruce, every scenario, X number of counter blasts, X number of soul blasts, X number of cards in soul. It's quite insane. So I don't think this will be a combo guide. So we're just gonna do the deck profile according to what mcrafter builds it to. He's using a lot of interesting cards in this deck where it's around consistency, but he plays some other cards to try and help him out in this meta. So I thought it was quite worthwhile to do it. And personally, I couldn't build Bruce like this. I don't think this is living proof that there are better Dark States players out there, and because where is living proof? But yeah, let's actually cover this video.
He's watching Evo.
Oh, he's watching Euro. Alright. So
I love Evo.
Let's do this then. So our right deck is going to be just the Diabolos right deck. It's exactly the same alongside the energy and the crest.
Yes.
So yeah.
So you have Matt, the standard starter. He's no longer intern. So I can't make this joke anymore.
Oh.
Then we have Steve. So the thing is that I have to explain this right line again because there's people that join during DivineZ. They have no idea what a final rush even is. So I have to explain this entire right line. So even though like it's been 3 years since right line came out, I have to explain the whole right line again. So
I think most people would have seen it, right?
So Steve went plays. So you can actually play any starter. I'm just playing the Diablo starter because I'm poor and I can't afford any other Dark States.
You're playing a high rare.
What are you talking about? This is a $2 card.
It's a high rare.
It's $2, bro. Yeah. It's a FFR before FFRs came out. That's why it's $2.
Oh.
So when Steve is placed on Vanguard Circle, then you call the grade 0. You call a card from your soul to Vanguard Circle, which should only be your grade 0, and then you soul charge one. So this is when you soul charge your OT, in case you're wondering, because the Dark States special to soul charge your OT.
I see.
So it just makes a nice 14k column, and it's pretty good for early game. Black Nehemiah players, please take note of this. I know you guys need the early aggression. That's what I heard. Okay, then second of all, we have Richard. So Richard is a grade 2. Is when placed. When placed. You choose a rear guard. Can be any rear guard. It usually is your starter, but it can be any rear guard in the event that you get burst blasted by any of your any of your rear guards get retired, by blasted out or whatever. You just put any of your rear guards in soul, then you draw one. So it's basically just net 0. So you plus 1 soul overall.
Right.
And you also get the early aggro, then you also draw a card.
Oh. But if you get the rear guard retired, is there a way out? Like
we'll show later. There's definitely ways out.
There is a way out to stop.
You no longer have to call a trigger from your hand in order to prevent yourself from losing this entire right line's advantage.
Why is that? What do you play that is so good?
Well, we'll get to it later because this deck is bad. And it relies on single card garnets in order to achieve any sort of sustainability and consistency.
I see.
Yes. Then we have, of course, Diabolos, Viamance Bruce. So this is the SIR. So if you're wondering why the art looks very, very different from the purple Bruce that you're used to, so this is the normal art, and this is the SIR. This SIR used to be very cheap and now it's sold out. So I'm very sorry for anyone that wants to pick up this SIR now. It's not my fault. You can blame Twitter. It's really not my fault. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Okay, so Viamance Bruce has two skills. So his first skill is that at the start of your battle phase, if your entire field is only made up of units with Diabolos in their card name, you enter Final Rush, which is the original keyword that they gave to Bruce at the very beginning of Overdress, which basically he used to be able to make him do 5 attacks by surplusing 5.
I see.
But now Final Rush is just there in name because it really doesn't matter anymore because there's actually another keyword that they introduced after that when this guy came out, which is that if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, you may enter Final Burst, and Final Burst is also counted as Final Rush. So all of your abilities that require Final Rush will still activate in Final Burst, if that's confusing.
I see.
Yeah. So basically just treat Final Burst and Final Rush as so just treat Final Burst is Final Rush, but Final Rush is not Final Burst.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but basically Final Burst is just the better version because basically when Bruce himself attacks, you choose you counter blast 1 and you choose one column. Yeah, so basically if you're in Final Burst, when Bruce attacks, you counter blast 1, you choose one column and then you stand it, and the entire column gains 5k. So basically overall the column will gain the unit in front will gain 10k.
So it's 5k to each?
Yes, 5k to each, yes. It's the 5k to each now is actually important. I can't just say that it basically just gives them 10k, even though that's realistically what it usually does. But now it actually matters that it gives them individually each 5k.
I see. So you explain later why it matters.
Yes. But overall, this guy is shit. It's a bad card. But basically the rest of the deck makes him actually threatening. But overall, this guy is actually he's so bad. So he's genuinely so much worse than the original Bruce.
Are you going to explain why the SCC is sold out?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Because this guy may look bad, but there's another $200 worth of cards that make him slightly competent.
Oh my goodness. Okay, moving on to the grade 3s. Our grade 3s, we play 1 Bruce in the right deck and only 2 in the main deck.
Yes, because there'll be a card that we're going to introduce later, which is
Gino?
Yeah, Gino. So it's a double rare from DBT12. Yes, the support of this deck is gonna. If you're planning on building this deck straight in DivineZ DZBT04 Destined Showdown that we are currently in right now, it's gonna take a while to collate all the cards of all these random sets from the past. It's gonna take you a really long time.
I guess that's why only someone like you can build this, because this looks like. I mean, judging from the serial numbers of these cards, these are all really old.
Yeah, they're old, man.
These are old. Because
old.
Bruce was like the first Dark States deck, right?
So this is the first Dark States deck.
This is like 4 years of card design in here?
Yes.
Oh my.
There's 4 years of card
4
design.
years of Spike Brothers. Wow.
Yes. The alternative is you just build Pyromanc these guys. He just got a new version in DZBT04 Destined Showdown.
I see. So we should just build Pyromanc.
Yeah. So basically, the reason why we're only playing 2 Persona is because realistically Persona is a brick in your hand because it's a grade 3. So okay, this guy's gonna take a while to explain. So we're just gonna leave Julian for later.
Okay.
Yeah, but realistically Persona is just a brick in your hand. Unless you know that you have enough shield to survive, like I don't know, Varga Jagress, Chris Rain, Levi Duras, Alden, Alcalibra. Yeah, Alcalibra, I think Alcalibra is the one matchup where even if you have the Persona in hand, it doesn't matter because you're not gonna guard anyways. So, but realistically, you just need one Persona. Because the thing is that you can recycle this one Persona copy as long as you see it in your soul. And realistically, when you Persona, right, you have the original one for your right line in your soul, so you can recycle this one. So that's why we only play 2 copies. So one of them is just to ditch because you really don't want it in your hand, and the other one is to recycle.
I see.
Or you can just forgo using the Persona altogether because the numbers this deck can generate without Persona is already strong enough for most decks that can't survive.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
now we go to
your other grade 3 that you mentioned is Julian.
Yes, Diabolos, Jetpacker, Julian. No, this is not Jetpacker. This is a diver. It's a diver. Yes. So Julian is the backbone of this entire deck, and he has been reprinted. He's reprinted in our favorite set, Triple Drive Booster.
He's reprinted.
Yes, reprinted as a double rare. So he's really easy to get now usually because it's a double rare now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Julian, his skill is very simple. It's when he attacks, if you have a Bruce Vanguard, you counterblast 1, and for every card in your damage zone, he gains 2,000 power. So if you have 1 card in your damage zone, he gains 2k, 4k, 6k, 8k, and then you have 5 damage, he gains 10k. If you have Bruce Vanguard. Then so he only needs you to have a Bruce Vanguard. So that's why when he came out in
I remember doing
DBT06
when I did the Bruce deck profile in DBT06 with Fate of Fourth, he was telling me that this card was really good. But I'm surprised to see that even you share the same sentiment that this is still like really good in his deck.
I mean, it's good mainly because it's the best way to get more attacks out. and also it's the main way to get more bodies on the board. Because Julian's skill is that his secondary ability is that for every two cards in your damage zone, so basically intervals of 2 damage, 4 damage. Realistically, you will never talk about 6 damage because you're dead at that point. Then you soul charge 1, and then you choose a card from your soul and call it.
Oh.
To open Rega Circle. So it has to be open Rega Circle.
Okay, so it's like Blonde Ezel.
Yes, Blonde Ezel, yes. It's like Felty Rosa, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically, so Julian is just there. So if you let's say like you're lacking board space, you're lacking cards on the board. You now have a way to just fill out that card slot, that board space with any unit that you want to. And then realistically, you're gonna want to try and fill it out with units that are Diabolos, so that you know.
But the whole deck is Diabolos.
Oh, I mean, you can use it in the other Bruce.
Right.
And also, like, there's gonna be scenarios where, like, you know, the Storm Your Soul is actually really good to call. Like, so let's say it's like the old Bruce support. You can actually use it in Diablos. You can actually use it in Vietnamese Bruce, but you just have to make sure that by the time you go to your next main phase, you get rid of it, because then you want to activate Final Burst again.
Right, because Final Burst checks if your entire board is
Diablos. Yeah. So there are ways to cheat out that condition in your battle phase, but not in your main phase. Yeah. So Julian is just there basically to just spawn the board, and it'll make a sense why he's very coveted. So you want to try and mulligan for him as much as possible, or you want to make sure that if you see him in your top 7 search, you get him in your soul as early as possible. Yes.
Okay, so why do you only play 3 then?
Because he's grade 3.
Oh,
yeah.
That's it?
Realistically, even though he's such a great card, right? Any card that doesn't have shield in his deck is a brick.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
That's how thin margins we're talking about.
Wow,
any card in this deck that doesn't have any shield is a shit card.
I'm not used to such deck building. Okay. Yes. Moving on to our grade 2s. Our grade 2s, we play one Richard. This is from the right deck. You already know him. But we still have other guys as well, in fact, plenty. Yes. So we're going to talk about the cover card, the one, the thumbnail first. This is Elio.
Yeah, Ellie.
Then we have 4 copies of Diablos Knuckler Jamil. We have 4 copies of Gino, which we mentioned previously. And then we have 3 copies of Patrick. And last but not least, a Protection Twin Cast. Yeah. Wow, so you cut the grade 3 slot to throw in extra shield.
Yes, because this deck really needs the extra shield, and things that it needs multiple instances of shield is what I really get. So like,
which is why Twin Cast helps.
Twin Cast is a new card, so I'm assuming you probably saw it in your card of the day or your different fight video, but you know you should. It's like, to explain it again, Twin Cast is a Regalis Beast Blitz order, so you can only play one of it in the deck, and basically is when you play as a Blitz order, it just acts as a 10k shield. Okay. So it's in current meta. There's actually not a lot of decks that attack for 10k shield specifically, but the fact that it's like you don't have to always rely on like your effect draw or whatever,
your extra 5k
effect draw or whatever to get a 10k shield means that it's not bad. So just having that extra 10k shield and then you can supplement with like your intercept. So actually a lot of decks these days attack for like exactly 20k shield. Right. But this deck cannot play effect fronts.
I see. Why?
Or because you need a lot of pieces, so you just play, and also like it's not always very stable for you to have a full front row sometimes. So there's gonna be some times where playing the front costs you because you know.
And that's why you play effect draw.
Yeah, that's why I say in this deck, it's recommended to play effect draws, and you only think about playing fronts to cut your crits rather than cutting your draws for fronts.
I see.
Yeah, so Twin Cast is really good for that part because then it's an instance of 10k shield and then you can intercept with, let's say, like a Jamil, which is another 10k shield. So that's 20k shield. So that's enough to guard a lot of attacks like your Tay-Fort, your Tay-Fort Selgaon, your Razionel, the first swing of your what's that got? The Shoot, the alchemy, Shahut can be guarded it's greatly assisted thanks to Twin Cast, the guarding. So it's just good. In order for this deck to get any form of 20k shield, it's just having Twin Cast. But its second ability is the main reason why I'm playing this deck, because the main problem of every Regalis piece is that if you draw it before turn 3, it's a complete shit card and you can't use it.
I see.
Except for Twin Cast. And maybe Unite the Sky, but the problem with Unite the Sky is that you have to get rid of your Bruce. Yeah, because so that means you can't cycle. I guess you don't mind getting rid of Bruce.
I personally am a huge fan of Unite the Sky, but I would see why you don't want Unite the Sky. First of all, it's a lot of energy, And secondly, it requires you to have multiple copies of your Vanguard out. But the thing is that you don't even start with a full playset of 4. You're playing 3 Bruce. So I can see why you're
if you like Unite the Sky, that's completely fine because that's the other best option that this deck has. But I mean also like English doesn't have Unite the Sky yet, and people in Japan might not be able to have access to Unite the Sky. So just play the card that's in the main set because it does basically the same thing except it's even better because its skill is that in the drop zone it's in the drop zone.
Okay.
After it's in the drop zone. You may remove when your Vanguard is attacked. You may remove this card, and then you choose one of your units that is currently being attacked.
You gain
for every grade of your Vanguard, that unit gets 5,000 power.
Right. So it's like 15k shield of your grade 3, 20k shield of your grade 4.
Yes.
Wow. So it's actually really good for grade 4 decks too.
Yeah. It's also good for grade 4. But generally, it's just a 10k shield and a 15k shield combined in one card.
Wow.
Yeah. And the main reason why is that because it's a Dark States deck, you're gonna soul charge a lot. So you're most likely gonna be soul charging this card, and then you won't be able to use its Blitz Order ability. But the fact that you can still soul blast it out and then use it from your drop zone as a 15k shield means that it's all the better that you got something out of your regulars rather than like you soul charge it. Like, I didn't get anything out of this card that I played.
So you're gonna. I mean, if you soul charge it, just gonna soul blast it out, and then you can just use extra shield.
Yeah, because this card doesn't interact much with the drop zone. So whatever you soul blast, so long as you don't soul blast your Diabolos normal units, like basically anything else is game. Your triggers is game. Your starter is game. Like whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Even your right line, honestly, is still quite useful to keep the soul
because they each have their own final rush skills, right?
The final rush skill is they both gain 5k. Basically, so Steve is a 13k booster, then Richard is a 15k attacker.
Wow, I've never. Wow, this is new to me.
So Twin Cast is very important for this deck because it definitely needs a lot of shield. Even though it's a Blitz Order, it means that you basically shouldn't be playing Elementar in this deck. But then you win some, you lose some.
I see.
Yes. And now we move on. Even though I spent very long talking about Twin Cast, still have 4 more grade 2s to talk about.
So you didn't even start on the core yet.
So we talk about the most useless grade 2 first, which is Patrick. So Patrick is a double red that came out in DBT10 Dragon Masquerade. Oh my god, it's been 1 year.
It's been a whole
year since this card came out. What the hell is going on? Okay, but Patrick, the main reason why he's playing is for his first ability, which is that if you're in final burst, he gains 10k.
You're playing this as a 20k beater.
Yes, this deck desperately needs grade 2s that are grade 2 interceptors that are solo attackers.
And that's him.
Yeah, so it's him. So Patrick is a really, really good card just because he's a solo attacker 20k and he doesn't need a booster behind him. So
I see.
And then is when he attacks. If you're in final rush, you soul blast 1. You choose one of your opponent's rear guards and you move it and you forcibly move it to the Guardian Circle. So they have to guard with it.
Okay.
And then if you're in final burst, you get to choose 2 instead of 1.
For one soul blast.
One soul blast.
So if you go first, it's retire 1.
Yes.
And if you go second, it's retire 2.
Yes.
And because it gains 10k power, it generally will negate 5 to 10k shields maximum, which means at the worst case scenario, you just paid soul blast 1 to retire 2.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, of course, if you're solo attacking with it means you basically wasted 1 attack. But because if they guard with 2 5ks, then this guy is already guarded basically.
Right.
But generally, you use it to get rid of things that your opponent wants to take. Like let's say your Invoke Alchemist, your Vedi Rock, the things that your opponent doesn't want to get rid of. Like even like let's say like you want to get rid of Emmeline, your Majesty, your Blaster player doesn't want to intercept wave. Intercept wave, then you can just get rid of it.
Right. Yeah. Whoa, that's very.
So Patrick is very
strong.
Patrick is very, very strong. But he doesn't do anything else. He doesn't do extra attack or generate advantage or generate field. That's why he's 3.
But he just helps you snipe off.
He just there to snipe off. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the most efficient way to snipe off compared to Leonard. Which Leonard needs to hit and then he has to attack the column. So like.
Oh, that sends me back. I remember talking about Leonard with Fade of War. That was so funny.
And we talk about we go Jamil first. So Jamil is a card that came in the same set as Viamance Bruce, and his skill as well is a continuous Vanguard Circle or Rear Guard Circle. Rear Guard Circle or Guardian Circle. If you're in final burst, he gets 10k power and 5k shield.
Oh, he's another solo
wait. One more thing I have to mention because we now have come to a Guardian Circle skill. You only leave final burst and final rush at the start of your next turn.
Oh.
So basically you are in final rush, final burst.
In your opponent's turn too.
During your opponent's turn, unless you get Blanky Mire, I guess.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why there's cards that have Guardian Circle skills because they count final burst, which means that this guy, so long as you go second, or if your opponent has been, or you have seen final burst once, then he
stays in final burst.
His tank issue, yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this deck has a lot of offense and defense.
And his second skill is basically just that it's basically your combo starter, bro.
Okay,
because
what does he do?
his skill is that when placed on regular circle, you have Bruce Vanguard, you counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and you choose 1 card from your soul and call it.
For revolt this!
Like what?
It's for revolt this. This is like what you posted about all the generic cards.
He was the inception of for revolt.
This is for revolt this, isn't it?
Oh
this is Vader Rock, right? This is Cutie Paratrooper. This is all of them, right?
I love Vader Rock Dragon, man. I love it. So Jamil is just there because there's gonna be a lot of cards that you're gonna soul charge. So he's really good in terms of getting those out. And then he also can he's a solo attacker. He's also tank issue, which is that desperately needs. So tank issue is good.
I see.
Yes. Then we go to Geno. So Geno is, like I said, is a double rare from DBT12. Yeah, you notice there's a lot of double rares in this thing.
Yeah, there's been we've covered 4 already.
Yeah, there's so many double rares. They keep giving Bruce double rares.
But that means the deck's cheap, right? Right?
Okay, anyway, so Geno's skill is that front row rearguard circle. When your Bruce Vanguard attacks,
Okay.
if you are in final burst,
Okay.
you soul blast 2. For every 2 cards in your damage zone, you choose 1 of your rearguards and stand it. And if you stood 2 from this ability, you choose 2 of your units. You choose those 2 units gain 5k as well. So basically, he mirrors Viamance Bruce's own skill to restand, except we call Soul Blast 2 instead of CP.
Hold on. So Viamance Bruce, when this unit attacks, you pick 1 counter blast to choose 1 of your columns. You stand it, each gain 5.
Yes.
And then you're telling me this guy, when he's chosen, he Soul Blast.
No. It's not true. It's just when your Bruce attacks.
When your Bruce attacks, which is the same timing, you now Soul Blast 2 to stand 2, and they also gain 5.
Yeah. So he stand himself, and he stand the unit behind him.
So effectively, what you have just read to me is that the whole board restands.
No, I didn't say that. The Vanguard doesn't restand.
Besides the Vanguard, both columns restand.
Yeah, the Vanguard. Yeah. Both. There are 2 columns restand. It's just like Veteran Prime.
What?
I love Veteran
And
Prime.
they all gain 5.
They all gain 5. Yes.
Wow.
That's why I say this deck really doesn't desperately need to see Persona, right?
Right, because you throw around power like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I see. Wow, this is...
So but honestly, that's not even Geno's best ability. His actual best ability is the second one,
Okay.
which is that at the end, final rearguard circle, at the end of your turn, if you're in final rush, you put this guy in your soul, and then you choose a normal unit from your soul and you add it back to your hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So any normal unit. So let's say like you soul charge your Persona, right? You can add it back to your hand. You soul charge your Perfect Guard, you can add it back to your hand. So on and so forth. So Geno is just there to really toolbox any card that you have made a soul charge throughout the game, and then you can just add them back to your hand.
Wow.
Yeah, so this genuinely was like a huge game changer for Viamance Bruce.
Yeah. I covered
he
this
basically
part
went from 4 attack deck to a 5 attack deck. But also it's just the way that you're able to just recycle normal units like a Persona Ride and stuff has made this deck way easier to pilot, honestly, after DBT12.
I see.
But if only there was a way to selectively put cards into your soul.
Oh, there is?
It's Time Playmaker. Alright, so it's Diabolos Playmaker Alley, which is the new triple rare from DZBT04 Destined Showdown. So it was the very first triple rare reviewed for this set.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh, because one of my friends, Fate of Fourth, he's also a Bruce player. So he and I recovered this, and then he was telling me, oh, the Bruce support is really good, and I was like, really? But I don't understand. But you're telling me now you have a way to move cards from your deck to the soul.
Yes.
Of your choice.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ali's skill is that when he's placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Diabolos Vanguard, so no, he does not ask for Bruce Vanguard, he just asks for Diabolos Vanguard, so your entire right line counts.
Oh, so that's why you play this right line?
Yes. I mean, he plays right line because it generally works with Bruce's game plan, but then because now it just counts Diabolos, it means you can call it early.
Okay.
You can energy blast 3. So finally, it's something that actually uses the extra resource that we're getting in device.
I see.
Then you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you reveal 2 cards from among them that have Diabolos in their card name. One of them, and then one of them you choose. If that chosen revealed card is same grade or lower as your current vanguard, you may call it, and then the other revealed card goes to soul, and the rest put better than shuffle.
So you telling me for EB3, you open the top 7, as long as you hit the archetype name, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, you call one, you add one to soul, and you shuffle.
Yes. And then the next turn...
That's really good.
Yes. So this usually is when you want to set out your Julian, because you want to have your Julian in the soul. You put your Julian in the soul and then you have your Jamil call it out. Yeah.
Oh,
so if you call your ally early, that's usually when you want to do it. But then if you do ally on turn 3, then obviously you want to just call the Julian straight out, so you don't waste a counter blast.
Okay.
Yeah, then... So ally on its own, that first skill is already quite insane. But then its second skill has only like... It's really awkward, but at the same time also, it's also not bad, I guess.
Okay, what does he do?
His second skill is that continuous, during your turn... actually no, it's not even during your turn. It's if you're in final rush, this card gains boost.
Okay.
So the thing is that because Viamance Bruce stands a column, this basically just acts as another 4 copies of a grade 1 that you would normally play in this deck.
So it's a 15k booster.
It's 10k booster. It's 10k booster. It's only, and his second skill is that you're in final burst, then it gets a 5k.
Okay, so going first is a 10k booster. Going second is a 15k booster.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, but the problem is that, it's kind of awkward because, let's say, because in a deck that is not Viamance Bruce, let's say you want to play like Unrivaled Bruce, then this card is very awkward because he's not a solo attacker. And you really don't really care about the boost because you have a lot better boosters, you have gear double, you have all those kind of things. So like Ellie is like it's kind of sad that he was really only made for one version of Bruce, and there's 3 versions of Bruce that exist. So it's like
because I play Unrivaled Bruce, and I think long time viewers of the channel will know that me and Faye the Fourth were very excited about it. But yeah, I don't think this is for Unrivaled Bruce, but this is definitely good for Viamance, who makes the whole deck Diabolos, right?
Yeah.
This definitely smells like.
Yeah. So Ellie is just a really, really good playmaker for every single one of your plays, and it's also just really good for consistency. Wow. So you definitely want to mulligan for him early.
I think this is the best divine support I've seen an old deck get.
Well, there's always Jiva.
I see. So moving on to our grade 1s. We will cover Steve. Steve is from the right deck, so you've already seen him, but just to recap, he gains 5,000 power if you're in final rush, so that's okay, it's not bad.
Yes.
Oh, I see you have 3 copies of, who is this?
This is Stephanie. I forgot. I think it's like Diablo's cheerleader Stephanie.
So you have the original print, the promo tournament reprint, and what is it?
It's the SEC.
An SEC!
It's the SEC.
You want an SEC of a grade 1 who says if you're in final rush, units in the same column as this gain 5.
Yes.
Wow, why? I don't understand the financial life of a professional, but alright. 2 copies of this guy, who's this?
Derek. It's Derek with a Y. No, it's Derek with I. It's Derek with I. Because there's 2 Dereks that are also Diabolos. One of them is a grade 2, and then this is the grade 1.
Yeah, the grade 2 one is a Eugene clone.
Yes.
And then 4 perfect guards is normal, and then we have 4 tournament promos. This is
Diablo Striker are all in.
All in, okay.
Yes.
So I've already covered perfect guards. We don't talk about it. So this girl, because you said final burst.
Final burst lasts until the end of your opponent's next turn.
Which means you can call this behind the vanguard, and it's an 18k.
Yes,
body,
your vanguard
right?
will be 18k. Yes.
So that means your Majesty Lord Blaster.
No, well, your shuffle.
Your last shuffle. Okay,
last shuffle.
I see your last shuffle. Wow, that's on top of all this bullshit I've just covered. This seems a bit much, no?
No, it's perfectly balanced.
Is that why you own the highest rarity of this one common?
I mean, it's just what happens. I managed to find this card.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. The right deck, we've already covered it, so
yeah. Then we have Derek.
What does Derek do?
So Derek is honestly not that good of a card, but it's generally just here because we need to kill as fast as possible.
Oh, what is
so I decided that I rather play the 2 tech slots, which is just power cards, as compared to playing more Stephanie or playing another Persona, right? Because realistic Persona is not going to win you the game as much as having a full column of solid boosters will give you.
Okay, so
because Derek, his skill is that when you become final rush.
Oh, final rush.
It's as soon as when you become final rush.
Oh.
Then he gains the red tax ability, which is the rear guard circle. When during the battle that your opponent will guard an attack that this unit boosted, they will have to throw 2 or more cards if they want to guard.
Oh, it's battle though.
It's battle though. Okay. And then this unit also gains 5, and then it gets 5k for the whole turn, and then at the end of the turn it dies.
Hold on. Is that a skill I can repeat with a restand?
Yes, you can.
So you're telling me when you enter final rush, he gains 5, and this new red text of Battle Door for the boosted unit, and then he's gonna boost the unit, and then after that, when Diabolos Viamance Bruce attacks, when he stands the column, that red text is still live?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's 2 instances of Battle Door.
Well, so this is just to push damage then, because
Yeah,
it kills itself at the end of turn, so it's definitely a -1. But the amount of damage you can push through from your opponent's hand advantage is
Yes.
painful.
But the thing is that it has to be around to see that you have to be. Yeah, it has to be around to see that you became Final Rush.
And that's not a problem, just call it early.
Yeah.
Wow, but that's pretty good though. I think as a 2 of that's a very spicy tag. I see you have a lot of interesting tags like Patrick and whatnot, but this takes the cake.
Yeah.
This is wow. Wow, okay. Okay, then I guess the last card for you to...
Oh no. I can't wait to talk about this card.
And this one is Diablo Striker Ollie. This is a tournament promo. Is this the 2,000 yen one?
Yes, it is.
And you have a foil?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Okay, guys, channel memberships is link in the description. If you want to help me have a financial life like his, you can help me out. Okay, tell me what it does then. I know this card's pretty broken from what Fourth told me.
No. This card made me go through like such a roller coaster of emotions when this card got reviewed. So what Olin does is that effectively she enables this deck to have 5 attacks going first,
Okay.
and 7 attacks going second.
7.
7 attacks.
More than Nairos.
7 attacks, yes.
Oh my
goodness. But the thing is that as good as that sounds, you really do give up a lot of card advantage to make that 7 attacks happen. And then Ellie was created specifically to ensure that Olin's entire game plan won't like make you -7 in order to make it happen.
Oh yeah, because these guys review around the same time, yeah? So
No, they review like 2 weeks apart from each other.
so that means the designers were definitely in the same room then.
Yeah. So like they knew that Ellie on his own is not that good of a card, but Olin together with Ellie makes a very, very dangerous combo.
Okay, explain why.
So Olin's effect, the first effect is the reason why now we don't have to worry about Blaster Duck and those kind of things, because his skill is the skill is that when this card during your turn, when this card will be discarded or put into your soul from your deck specifically, you Energy Blast 3 and then you Energy Blast 3 to call it to a regular circle.
When this card is discarded during your turn or put into your soul from your deck,
yes,
Energy Blast 3 and call?
Yes.
Wait, but you just said this is to add Diablos to soul. So for EV6, you now get a full board.
You get a column, yes.
No, you get this, and the other guy calls.
Yes.
So it's virtually trilane already.
You get 3, yes. You get 3.
Wow,
you get 3
and
cards.
if you discard it, that means for the Rhine that cost, you get EV3 and call it back as well.
Yes. You also can.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I've seen some people play Tisca as well, which is like, I mean, I guess you can play Tisca because it's a unit that you don't have to worry about calling it on your turn. But then also like you don't really have a lot of energy or Counter Blast in this deck to worry about because you already have 2 people that use EV3 for very, very good cost.
Right.
And Olin's other skill is that is the reason why this card is so divisive, because it's only active in the center back row.
So that means you have this competing in the same slot as Stephanie, which is that girl that you own so many rarities of. Yeah. And when you call this from the effect of either moving to the soul or discarding it, where do you put it first?
Usually, all-in, you always want to put it in center back row. Because you just want to always just have that 7 attack pressure active. Then your opponent, if your opponent doesn't read cards or they don't know what Bruce does, then they're just going to
die.
Yeah, they're just going to die.
Yeah, because I played with you just now and wow, this is quite insane.
So all-in skill is center back row rear guard circle once per turn. Any of the battle that your rear guard attacked, you choose 2 Diablos rear guards in 2 of your front row Diablos rear guards and retire them. So they have to be Diablos.
So your 2 front row units with Diablos name, you just sack them both.
You just sack them. You draw 1. And then you choose 1 of your back row units. Choose one of the back. Yeah, it just chooses 1 of your back row units. And you put and you move them to a front row rear guard circle.
It's Aqua Force.
Essentially, it's Aqua Force. Yeah.
They printed Aqua Force in Spike Brothers.
I mean, true. I mean, I mean, Spikes have always done like position changing and those kind of things.
You're right. Yes,
I mean, they move force markers. Yeah. Now they're just moving units now.
So they clear the front 2 spots by retiring them both, and then you choose one of your back row rear guards and you move it to the front, and he can attack again.
Yes.
But if I'm understanding this correctly, again, you can stop me if I'm wrong. open rearguard circles. By retiring, you allow Julian to trigger his skill.
Yes.
Is that the whole point of this?
Yes. That is the point, yes.
Oh my goodness.
So Julian...
Wow, this seems so layered.
Yeah, so Julian is mainly just there because now then you have an outlet to... You now have an outlet to then call a new full field. And then then usually you want to do all-in after you have... Before you attack with the vanguard. So so that means,
before.
So that means that this is why all-in is very specific in terms of how you want to do the attack pattern, because Julian wants to be able to call Gino plus another grade 1 so that you can do the full 7 attacks. So if you can't do that, then it actually doesn't make much sense for you to attack with all-in first.
Okay. So let me see if I have this deck completely under control. The whole point of this deck now is not only to storm the board in the early game with, what was it? Ellie, as well as this person here from the EB3. So for your EB6, your whole early energy curve, use it on building a board, right?
Yes.
And then afterwards, you're telling me that you are going to have 2 individual attacks. You're going to use this guy, snipe your 2 front row rear guards, move Julian to the front, right? And then use Julian to call, I don't know, someone even more deadlier, like Gino. And then after that, you're going to have all them swing. And then when Viamance attacks, you're going to stand 1 column and then 1 more column.
Yes, for a total of 7 attacks. Yes, which is why the solo attackers are very important, because you want to keep the boosters for when they gain the 5k from Gino plus Viamance Bruce skill.
But this is there a weakness to this? Is there
you have to be at 4 damage to do this.
You have to be at 4 damage. So if you're at 3 damage, this doesn't work?
Yeah, 3 damage, then you can't call another because Julian can only call 1 card if you're at 3 damage.
I see. But this is like the best combo, or is this their normal combo, or what?
This is the best. This is the best combo.
But there are other lines I've seen on Twitter, and even you have posted. So that there are other lines that you can play without all this, right? Like you can still play a turn 3 going first, a turn 3 going second, just with other cards. It's just that this is the peak.
Which is why Stephanie is still important, because that gives you the 18k base to survive a lot of those like really really strong. If your opponent is grade 3 effects, like the mirror match, you can survive because you are 18k base. Alcredibra, you can survive probably because you're 18k base. Strike deck sets, you can probably survive because you're 18k base. So on and so forth.
I see. Wow, that's a lot of thought into one deck. Yeah. I can see why you were featured, man. This is not quite rich for me.
No. The deck's still bad.
And then
you have to be at 4 damage to do anything.
I mean, that's just limit break, right?
I guess.
Upgrade zeros, we have starter. You played the light OT. Why is that?
Because his deck needs card draw.
Oh, you're playing this for the draw.
This deck's hand is so bad that you genuinely just need anything that gives you card draw. So I know there's a lot of people that want to play the red OT, and I know the red OT is very popular. So that's your other option. The purple OT is very bad in this deck because you're nuking your 1 damage, and it also you're nuking your 1 damage at a timing where it's beneficial. But then the thing is that your whole field is already occupied, so there's no point
in calling more.
Yeah.
Right. So that explains the light OT and your 4 effect draw.
Yes. You just want to make sure that you draw as many cards as possible, because we don't play any cards besides Jambil, we don't really play any cards in this deck that against shield. So I know Bruce actually has a card that literally its only effect is against 20k shield.
But you don't play that?
No, against 15k shield, so it's a 20k shield. Yeah, we don't play it. So that one is if you really want to play for survivability, but now we just want to play to have cards in hand. So that is our survivability, is just having more cards in hand.
I see. And then you max out the Diabolos triggers with 4 heal and 7 crit because you just want to round out the rest of the range.
Because you can play Rainbow in this deck. I genuinely think that playing Rainbow is fine in this deck, but you have enough power to go around that you just want to kill at some point.
What about fronts?
That's what I say. So if you want to play Rainbow,
like all fronts.
All fronts.
Would that be recommended?
I mean, all fronts is also fine, I guess. It really depends how you want to spec this deck out. If you want to play for the long game, then you can play fronts. If you want to play to kill the opponent quickly, you can play crits. But then mileage may vary. With this deck. Mileage really varies a lot with this deck.
I see. And that will wrap up the Diabolos Viamance Bruce deck profile for DivineZ. Wow, talk about a summary, man. That is quite insane.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of people that have never even heard of what a Bruce even is, what a Final Rush is. So it's good. It's also good to have people that just join during DivineZ. So I know a lot of people that they really they only really came back to Vanguard thanks to energy and thanks to things like Rezaia, the anime and stuff.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah, so it's good to also recap the good parts of JS era. I mean, I'm very skeptical to call them good anymore because everything is subjective usually. It's like, oh my god, Jiva guys, what a great deck. Took 7 sets for it to be good, and Bruce, it used to be the top dog. And then it fell from grace for 2 years, and then now it's finally back in people's good graces.
Bruce really hummed year 1D. But I can see, judging by, you talking about it going straight, it looks like they're back. It's poised to do something.
It's usable. It's usable.
So where can people find you if people are interested in learning more about this deck, or just any of your great takes in general?
You can find me on Twitter at mcrafterreal at mcrafterreal if you want to find. Yeah, because my Twitter account got hacked, so I had to change my username.
Someone hacked you?
Yeah. I lost my account or something like that. I forgot how it went. But you can generally find me on Twitter, and then you can find me on DifferentFight's Discord if you want to talk to me about things.
I see. Thank you so much for coming on. So rare to find someone like you to even talk to. I'm pretty sure if Fade the 4th was here, he would ask for an autograph, but sadly he's not around. He's not free today. I did ask him if he would like to meet you, but some kids just have school. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.